Well, the word grief can mean many things, and as it turns out, there are ways to tackle grief in your own home starting right now. We have author and grief mediator Gail Trauco sharing her Southern wisdom for conquering grief from your own porch, which is the name of your ebook. So, Gail, thank you for being here. And we also want to say welcome to April Hernandez, who runs a pet rescue, and you've had your fair share of grief as well. April's battling inoperable brain tumors, but has found tremendous strength and solace from dogs. So first, Gail, let's talk about this. When we talk about grief versus depression, let's differentiate between those two things.
There are 7 distinct phases of grief, the first being fear, when you incur any type of loss, and the final phase of grief being forgetfulness, when you're in that healing phase. Clinical depression is clinically significant and generally managed by a physician, and many times requires medication to treat it. Grief does not always require medication for treatment.
So if you're at home watching right now, how do you know, is this depression or is this grief? Do you recognize that you're going through stages?
You do recognize you're going through stages. Grief, you're able to get up and go to work every day. You're able to function, and you still will feel sad because you have incurred a loss. With clinical depression, at some point without treatment, you become dysfunctional.
Okay, so it's very important to understand the difference, because with clinical depression, you do need help from a doctor. So grief can come from the loss of a loved one, of course, but it also can stem from other things in your life, right?
Obesity. I used to weigh 450 pounds. I grieved morbid obesity until I had a lap band surgery in 2000 and lost over 200 pounds.
Wow.
We grieve a loss when they foreclose on your house. You lose your job. You move. Your children grieve when they have to make new friends. And love loss is probably one of the most difficult losses that we have when we end a relationship. We grieve.
All right, so let's talk about, you're bringing us 4 things that we can do and that can help us, that we can start doing right now in our own houses that can help lift our mood.
Absolutely. I've identified 4 very simple, common household items, stuff that everybody has at home to lift your mood. Liberace's Mood Lifter. Everybody loves Liberace. Liberace always had candles and candelabras on his piano. Light up a candle, lighten your mood. Martha Stewart's Mood Lifter. Martha Stewart was always surrounded by flowers. She was even surrounded by flowers when she was in prison. I bought this beautiful bouquet of flowers at the local supermarket. It brightens your mood.
So Liberace, we're not listening to Liberace, or are we?
No, we're not listening to Lady Gaga. We have Lady Gaga's technique.
Okay.
Turn on the music and turn it up. It lightens your mood. And my favorite is Dr. Doolittle's anti-depression weapon. We have Deuce here with us today from Fidelis Pet Rescue, along with April. We all know our pets, when we spend time with them, it lifts our mood.
Now, tell us about the science behind this. And April, you can talk about it. Do you feel better, because you're going through a lot? How do the dogs make you feel better?
It helps a lot to help rescue dogs and save their lives and get them in forever homes.
Okay, and what does the science say about animals?
The science says, you know, when you pet your cat or your dog, it scientifically lowers your vital signs to a resting state. It changes your brain wave. It puts you in more of a meditative state. So it's a healing state for the physical body, and it changes your brain chemistry, so it lifts your mood.
Okay, so we're talking about candles. It's the look and the smell.
Yes.
They can actually have a calming effect on us.
Very calming effect.
The flowers, again, it is the fragrance, seeing the flowers that can lift your mood. Listening to music, the power of music is undisputed, really.
Yes.
And having a pet in the house, whether it's a dog or a cat or something else to take care of, right?
It is.
Very good. Okay, so 4 things. And have you seen that you're an oncology nurse? Do you see these things work in people, especially as people battling really big issues?
I've worked with over 5,000 patients in the last 7 years, and the patients who respond best to chemotherapy are patients who are physically aware of their physical and emotional state. So when they feel sad, they will take very positive steps to improve their mood. And they may even do some of these things. Many of the cancer centers are implementing music programs. They have pet therapy programs while patients are receiving chemotherapy. There are people there even doing art therapy.
All right, it's all good stuff. It's all making that, you know, figuring out what you can control in your life when other things are out of control, and try and improve those things, your surroundings. Ladies, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for showing off Is Deuce available for adoption?
He is. He's a blue-nosed pit with Semper Fidelis Pet Rescue.
Semper Fidelis. Very good. All right. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
We'll be back.